Hey, what's going on, everyone? My name is Matt Jarbo. This is Three Buck Theater, and Detective Pikachu just came out today, and I just got home from seeing it, and I wanted to talk with you guys about the ending of the movie. What does it mean for our heroes? What does it mean for the future of the franchise? All these questions and more will be answered in this Endings Explains video, but keep in mind there's also heavy spoilers. So if you haven't seen the movie yet, come back when you have, or you've been prepared. So here we go. Okay, at the end of the movie, the day is saved. Obviously, Howard Clifford, the president, the visionary of Clifford Industries, the man who created Ryme City, has been exposed for attempting to create an experiment where he would meld humans and Pokemon together to create a more peaceful society where humans would not be bound by their lack of evolution in their body. And, well, ultimately, he almost committed a weird human genocide on everyone there. But Pikachu and Tim saved the day, allowing Mew to stop the attack and then reverse everything. The cool thing is that his son, Roger, who was basically the MacGuffin villain for the vast majority of the film, turns out to actually be the good guy who has now vowed to fix everything that his father broke, as well as admitting that it was his own fault because he didn't spend enough time with his dad. In fact, that was kind of a big point of the film. Part of the theme was fathers and sons and their relationships. Obviously, Tim and his father Harry and their disjointed relationship. And then what we have is we have Roger and Howard, who we actually were kind of told a different scenario because it was all part of Howard's lie. He was telling everyone that his son was the bad guy, and he used that in order to hire Harry to track down Mew. And then, well, we all know how that whole thing turned out because Mew had to put Harry's body or mind into Pikachu's body in order to bring the son to resurrect the father. That was a bit of a weird thing, if I'm not lying on that one. That to me was a very odd element in the film. Somehow Mewtwo became Pokemon Jesus and was able to reconstruct an entirely destroyed, lifeless human body. I wonder how he is at parties. But that being said, the other main character in the film was Lucy Stevens, who is the intrepid journalist who created listicles for the blog of, I believe it's CMM News. They said it a couple times, but I can't quite find any other reference to it anywhere to make sure that's correct. But she was hot on the tail of the story, and she was the only one who picked up on it. And Roger, after finally coming to his senses and realizing that his father's the bad guy, wants to have her go and be a primetime journalist to expose the truth and to make sure that everyone knows that he is going to do the right thing by what his father did. You got to save face in regards to the corporation, and you got to make sure that everyone knows everything is hunky-dory and everything is in fact a-okay. So that leaves us then with the whole situation involving Tim, Detective Pikachu, and Harry. Now, 3 individuals instead of just being 2. And this is where I feel that the movie wrote itself into a corner and ultimately kind of made the mistake of screwing up its own potential franchise, which I do believe is going to go on to gross billions and billions of dollars. So, and when Harry decided to start asking questions about just what it was that was happening with Mew and the R formula that was being created from him, well, Howard decided it was time to take him out back and kneecap him a little bit. So they did that. And that, of course, is what brings us to the end of the film. In regards to Mew still being out there, but having returned the father, and the father and son can now have a solid relationship. And that is where the movie ends, is that he stays in Ryme City. That would be Tim, and he says, hey, I want to be a detective. And they kind of allude to that being the entryway into Detective Pikachu 2. Now, the problem with that ultimately is a situation involving the chemistry between Ryan Reynolds and Justice Smith. It's absolutely there, but when you build your entire first movie on the relationship between a man and a Pokemon and that they can communicate with one another, and then take that away at the end of the film, that's what's going to cause a fair amount of confusion with the writers who are trying to get this new one off the ground. And like I said, 4 months before the release of this movie, Warner's and Legendary announced that Detective Pikachu 2 was already in development because they know this is going to be a big hit. So that's the end of the film right there. That's what we know. What we know going into the sequel is just going to be he's going to be a detective, but how is it going to interact with the relationship between the two of them? Are they going to put Harry's mind back into Detective Pikachu's body in order to recreate the magic that was from this film? Or are they going to leave things are where they are? And personally, I think they screwed up, because even though it was good to have his father come back and he then gets that time with him, when it was revealed that Harry's mind was in Pikachu's body, they should have just left it at that and then let the relationship build from there. And I think audiences at the end of the day are going to be more receptive to that, especially if a sequel does pop up. So there you have it. There's the Pokemon Detective Pikachu ending explained. What are your thoughts on this one? Let me know down in the comments below. If you guys are new, please thumbs up the video, subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys later. Have yourself a great day, and peace out.